Hi, this is Carolyn Holzman. I'm with your Austin SEO company, and today I'm talking with Michael Shapshak of Worldpay, and we're talking about credit card processing for periodontists. And Michael, I got a big question for you, and I'm sure you're tired of hearing it, but one of the first things I know I've asked my previous credit card processors is how much are your rates? So can you talk a little bit about that and what impacts the rates, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, funny you should mention that. That's actually the first thing everybody asks me. And I wish it was so simple to explain, but I'm going to try. So basically your rates fluctuate due to risk and types of credit cards that are used or swiped. Your least expensive being your Visa debit bank card from your local bank. Most expensive being corporate cards, Visa rewards cards, some prepaid Visa cards, etc., etc. But basically, it fluctuates all the way from one end to the other. So hopefully that kind of explains why.
Yes, and one of the other questions I have, because I know in years past I have allowed my bank to handle my credit card processing. So in terms of a medical practice, how would that have an impact on rates, or does that have an impact on the rates if even with the same card?
Yes, it does. Actually, most banks are not direct processors. They would go through an independent sales organization in order to process, get the funds into their account. Worldpay is a direct processor, which means less hands involved in the money. We handle it from swipe to settlement, which is beginning to end. Nobody else touches your money. It goes right to your bank, and we can offer lower fees and lower rates because of that. So Worldpay definitely has no problem beating most rates out there.
Well, that's great. Now, let's say we're talking about a multiple dentist practice. Would every dentist need to have their own equipment, or does Worldpay offer any kind of way to share equipment, in essence?
Yes, we do. We have what they call a multi-merchant unit, which is also encrypted, where you could have up to 16 dentists. I don't know if you'd want that many dentists all in one spot, but you can have up to 16 dentists all running off the same equipment. You would all share your PCI compliance fee, which I can get into in a little bit. You'd also share the cost of the equipment, and basically the front office would just put in a particular code for each dentist and swipe it. At the end of the day, it would batch out to each individual dentist's bank accounts. At the end of the month, they give them a monthly statement. At the end of the year, you would get a year-end tax statement, which would break it down per dentist automatically. So you would not even, you just hand that to your accountant and you're good to go. So we try to make things very simple and very secure as well.
Well, now you mentioned something before with the PCI compliance, because isn't that an important aspect of HIPAA for a periodontist being able to be in compliance?
Yes, actually, HIPAA, you know, is very, very important to all people in the medical field. If you are not PCI compliant, the odds are you're not HIPAA compliant, because they deal with the same thing about personal patients' data. Credit cards hold a lot of personal information, as well as doctors hold a lot of private patient information. If any of these are breached, you will fall out of HIPAA compliance. You will also end up going through a lot of forensic audits, which can cost in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Worldpay runs scans of your equipment several times a day, several times a week. We make sure that you stay compliant. Every year you have to stay compliant. And we have a 24-hour help desk to help you stay compliant at all times. So this is very, very important for anybody in the medical industry.
Well, now, right, because it sounds like if you're out of compliance, that could be very expensive. What kind of, you know, how should people, if they're curious, if doctors are watching this and they already have a credit card processor and already have equipment, what kind of things do you need to see in order to run a statement analysis or to find out if their equipment is compliant or not?
Well, number one, I'd like to do an office site visit if possible. If they're local, I would love to have few conversations with the periodontists. Um, if not, if they're not local, they can always email me a current statement and also the type of equipment that they're running, so I can find out number one, if it is encrypted, and also two, if it's a multi-merchant terminal. But I can tell from both of those pieces of information where they stand and help them.
Well, that's great. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure if anybody is interested, your phone number is going to be here in your email, scrolling down in the description, and so you can start helping periodontists be compliant and save some money. And so, Michael, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it, and hope this information gets out to everyone.
I hope so too. It is very important information. Hopefully it's been helpful. Thanks, Carolyn.
Thank you, Michael. Bye.
Bye.